Another one bites the dust. What's going on, everybody? Harrison Family Values, Dre here. Hmm. I put way too much cream in my coffee tonight. But another one bites the dust. Disheartening. It's never good news when you hear about a couple divorcing. The thing is, people in the public eye usually have public events happening in their lives, even though they mean for it to be private. Because they're public figures, it becomes public automatically, especially when you are in the marriage and you put your business out there in public. Jeannie Mai was a part of the show The Real, and she talked about her relationship often on the show. How do I know? Because at times I had to watch it. Oh, that's a little crooked. Let me. Yeah, at times I watched it. Not all the time, but at times I watched it. Um, it is what it is. Okay. And she talked about her relationship with Jeezy and getting married. And during the pandemic, they had a pandemic wedding, and th- she was always talking about it. Uh, Recently, Jeezy filed for divorce. What's crazy is in the past couple of weeks, a couple of high-profile black relationships have either separated or called it quits. Iman Shumpert and Tiana Taylor, they're separated. One other one. And what's going on, everybody that's in the chat? Thank you so much, G Friends, for being here. And I see you, brother Chavis. God bless you all. Um, yeah, so hey, Blacklight Revelation. Thank you so much for being here. That's loud. So it's yeah, so lately, couples have high profile couples. And I'm gonna be honest, I've seen people, you are probably watching this, that have modeled your relationships after people like Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert, like Jeezy and Jeannie Mai. And I've said this on my channel before. Be careful when you put couples on a pedestal, claiming them to be couples goals. Because I tell you all the time, and I say this, it's not just celebrities, but everybody that does this, they curate their what they put on social media to make them look and appear a certain way. Everybody presents a polished version of themselves. Everybody presents a polished version of their marriage, especially if they have put their marriage out there to be, in essence, couple goals for other people. I don't do the whole couples goals things because of that reason. Unless they have been married for a long time, I know them personally and I see them interact with each other and they have a biblical and godly marriage and they love each other unconditionally, that I would look at as couples goals, but not what we see on social media. All that is nonsense. All that is fake. It's fugazi. It's a facade. They want you to believe that they have a perfect relationship. No relationship is perfect. And I think we all know that. But we all desire perfection in a relationship. And it's not even so much that we desire to be perfect in a relationship. You desire somebody else to be perfect for you in the relationship. Hear me out. Hear me out. Many of us are extremely selfish, even to the point when we got married. We didn't get married because we were ready to be somebody's husband or somebody's wife. We got married because we wanted somebody else to be our, no, well, you wanted somebody else to be your husband, and we wanted somebody else to be our wife. We wasn't concerned about what we were going to contribute so much in a relationship or in the marriage. That's why when things get hard, because it will get hard, when things get hard, and you not feeling your husband or your wife anymore at that, or at least at that specific moment, you're quick to call divorce. That's loud too. Jeez. Quick to call divorce. You want to know why? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because we are innately selfish. We want what we want. And we want others to stimulate us the way we want them to stimulate us. When people get married today, people aren't getting married because they want to live a life together. They want to build a life together. Nah. Today, marriage is all about optics. which is why the majority of the resources that is spent is on the wedding. The wedding, which is why, women today, and you guys aren't gonna like this, ladies, you guys are demanding rings that are astronomically priced when you have done nothing to prove that you deserve it. Sorry, it's just the truth. For many of you, it's just the truth. You may not like it, but it's the truth. Right? You want the ring, you want the extravagant wedding, you want, I'm gonna tell you what you want. You want the people that attend your wedding to be jealous of the wedding you have because it makes you look like the ultimate bride in that specific situation. Listen. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. I see you. Facts and the where you at? Facts and the uncomfortable truth. Bernard S, thank you so much for being here too. I greatly appreciate you. Right? Right? We have to show that we are the it couple. Have to. Then when things get a little bit icy, we want to call it quits. 2 years. Do you know that the first, statistically speaking, this is not the hardest part of a marriage is like the first 2 to 3 years. The hardest. The reason why it's hard is because you have two people coming together, listen, and there's a lot of compromise. The reason why it's hard is because you have selfish individuals not looking to compromise, but expecting the other to compromise. You got to make all the changes, but you got to accept me for me. Because, listen, otherwise, this isn't going to work. No, it's not going to work. Not if you're expecting one person to compromise and you absolutely aren't willing to. It's not going to work. How do you expect it to work? Right? I can't say that that's happening or that happened in the case of Jeezy and Jeannie Mai. But it's been 2 years, a little over 2 years. And now the marriage is going to be dissolved. Jeezy filed for divorce. And here's the thing. It's not likely for men to file for divorce unless there's a good reason. Now, do I know if it's a good reason or not? No, I'm just saying that the likelihood based on the numbers of men initiating divorce, usually when men initiate divorce, it's because of infidelity. Now, do not go saying that I am saying that there was infidelity in this case. I'm not. What I am saying is that men are not prone to just initiate divorce unless there was infidelity there. Because again, men are fragile. We are fragile. Brothers, you know we're fragile. Okay. Women are more likely to forgive a man for being unfaithful and forgive their infidelities than it is for a man to forgive a woman because of her infidelity. And there's reasons for that, right? There's how men and women view intimacy. All right. So I get it. But men are not likely to initiate divorce unless there's a good reason. Men by nature, in most cases, are committal creatures. When they commit, they commit. Even to the point where that they could have a separation, right? But he is not going to just get a divorce. He will live separated from his wife and not get a divorce because he's committed to it. Okay? Or unless he meets somebody else. Or maybe that's the case. Maybe he was like, yo, been there, done that. I need to go move on. I'm not saying that's the case, but we don't know. But we do know this. The first 2 years, 2 or 3 years in a marriage is extremely difficult. It's not easy. It isn't. But it takes work. People think marriage is easy, and it should be. Why? The only way you think marriage should be easy if you go into the marriage expecting the other person to do for you. What's going on, Jessica? I see you in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. That's the only reason why you think it's easy. And when it becomes hard, let me tell you how it becomes hard in your perspective. When it becomes hard because they're not doing what you want them to do. You know when marriage becomes easy? When the husband and the wife lives in a way in the marriage where they're looking to sacrifice for the other person, to love the other person unconditionally, where the wife offers the husband respect, and the husband offers protection and unconditional love to the wife. That's when marriage becomes easy. But if you are only looking at marriage for yourself, you're looking at marriage because it makes you look good, you want to be the it couple, you just might find yourself in a situation just like Jeannie Mai and Jeezy. I'm about to say Yeezy. Yeezy too. Yeezy and Kim. All right. All right. So listen up. I'm going to play a video real quick. Now, I had to screenshot this. It's not the most flattering. So please just listen to it. All right. It's not like an ugly, just it looks intense. Okay. She's an attractive woman. Uh, but it's just an intense shot that the screenshot. But I want you guys to listen to this. All right. Very, very interesting. I have it sped up just a little bit.
My favorite quality in a person.
Put a one in the chat if you can hear it.
Self-awareness.
I'm gonna
I
rewind
love
it
when
again.
someone's self-aware to be like, you know what? That was.
Hold on. Put a one in the chat if you heard that for me, please. I'm gonna let it rock.
My favorite quality in a person that I think is so attractive is self-awareness. I love when someone's self-aware to be like, you know what? That was kind of narcissistic of me, or that was kind of selfish of me, or that. And then whatever you see when you call that out, do what you got to do in order to kind of grow out of that. For example, I have a really hot temper, but I didn't notice it in myself until I was with Jeezy.
Interesting. You notice in your previous marriage?
No, because.
So she had a hot temper that she didn't notice in her previous marriage. And I know a couple of people have done their take on this specific portion of this. This happened, she recorded this 2 years ago, all right, on a different YouTube channel. Shout out to them. If you guys know it, I can't promote them on this channel because we're a family channel. And a lot of the content on this other channel is definitely not family. But shout out to that, that content creator. But this was done 2 years ago. So this is not recent. Let me just put that disclaimer out here. She did not just do this interview. Okay. All right. What's going on, David Stewart? Glad you are here.
It has to do with the type of relationship you have and the type of respect you have for that person to mirror things back to you where you actually would stop you in your tracks and evaluate yourself,
So
did you hear that?
So I
this was a good point. This is a good point.
Notice it in myself until you got to do in order to kind of grow out of that. For example, I have a really hot temper, but I didn't notice it in myself until I was with Jeezy.
Interesting. You didn't notice in your previous marriage?
No, because it has to do with the type of relationship you have and the type of respect you have for that person to me.
That's true. That is true in part. A lot of it has to do with also you. So she's blaming the relationship for why she could not be self-reflective on how she behaved. That's on her also. So yes, the right partner could pinpoint some behaviors in you that's not acceptable. But you got to be able to do that too. You got to be mature enough to say, you know what? I have a bad temper. I need to see this. I need to acknowledge this in myself. I need to be mature enough to know when I have a bad temper, when it's being displayed, and how I'm being inappropriate with it, like that. So you're putting it on a relationship, okay, which also could be the dependency of having somebody else be that person in your life to point out the things in you that's not good. That's really, really heavy, a real heavy dependence on somebody else being responsible for your character flaws. No, it's not your husband's role to highlight your character flaws. He might, but that's not his sole responsibility. You need to be able to do that on your own. Be mature enough to do that on your own. Now, yes, it could be a benefit, but you got to be able to do that on your own.
Things back to you where you actually would stop you in your tracks and evaluate yourself,
I agree, Jessica. I don't see how she can be with a man that she didn't respect also for that long. Yeah, I don't see it either.
So you had it.
So I had it, but nobody ever called me out on it. Also, in my line of work, sometimes being a boss, you have a lot of people who just agree to what you want. They're yes men, right? And so I didn't notice that I had a hot temper until I got with Jeezy. And here's a person who is my equal and I really respect. And when I would spew some of my old habits,
so you notice how she talked about how she was a boss, but when she met Jeezy, he was her equal. Again, this is a character thing. If you could be mean, if you can lose your temper with people that you think, are less than you, that's a character flaw that you need to really search and try to make a change. it should not take somebody that you consider your equal for you to see that you have a specific character flaw, right? Now that this person is your equal, this person deserves that respect, but everybody else that you feel is beneath you does not. It's something to look out for.
Was like,
that's also one of the red flags that you guys should be looking out for while you're dating. If you go out to eat somewhere, how the person, whether you're dating and you're looking at whether you're a woman trying to find a husband or a man trying to find a wife, if you're out and you're out on a date and that person treats the waiter or waitress very poorly, that's a sign. That's a sign. Okay, I'll even say this, fellas, you ain't gonna like this. There I am. Does he tip the valet driver? I'm just saying. Man, you ain't gonna like this, but
like that's not flying here. And also, it would trigger him to come back at me with things where I was like, "Who the fuck do you think you are?"
Whoa!
But
danger.
Hey, sorry, guy. Whoa, Jeannie, chill with the language, yo. I will kick you off my channel. I will kick you off my channel if you do it again. My apologies, guys.
Danger.
I was triggering him. So through work, we learned that we both have certain habits that to the everyday person, from friends, family, fans, they'll never see it.
Mhm.
But to the person who loves us deep enough, you can press that button and boom, the dragon comes out. And we both have it. So we had to work on that. But he never told me to fix my temper. I just saw it and I thought, unless I want to stay in this place where I lose this person I love and I stay in my comfort zone of doing what I want to do and function the way I have for the last 40 years when nobody else had to stop me.
Which obviously has done quite well for you.
Right. I could have, but this was something greater that I wanted.
See?
And also a great challenge to myself to say, what if now that I know it exists and the dragon's there, what if I got rid of that? How do
Now that the last part she's talking about is good, but I'm going to interject in a second.
I kill that dragon or store it in its place so that it
First off, she said, what can I do to kill that dragon? Or I was going on TKC, or store it. Like, don't store it. Kill the dragon. Don't store it.
never creates havoc in my life? And that took work. So for me, I think I don't want somebody who doesn't change. I want you to change
So,
and grow.
let me rewind
Right.
this a
I could
little bit.
have, but this was something greater that I wanted to have it. So we both have certain habits that to the everyday person, from friends, family, fans.
So
they'll
watch
never
this,
see it.
guys.
Mhm.
But to the person
I'm
who
gonna-
loves us deep enough, you can press that button and boom.
Give you a
the
red
dragon comes out.
flag.
And we both have it. So we had to work on that. But he never told me to fix my temper.
What? Listen
I
to this
just
carefully.
saw it and I thought, unless I want to stay in this place where I lose this person I love and I stay in my comfort zone of doing what I want to do and function the way I have for the last 40 years when nobody else had to stop me.
Which obviously has done quite well for you.
Right. I could have.
So this part also is it's a mixed bag, because we should all be willing to change if there's something that we're doing that's detrimental to our relationships, our marriages. I get that. But what she's saying here is I think this is even before they got married, or right when they got married. She noticed that, no, she talked about this in past tense. So this was in reference to what she was doing before while they were dating. If I want to stay in this relationship, I'm going to have to do certain things. I'm going to have to change certain things, right? Now, that could be initially good, but the change has to be tested, and not like, let me prove her. I'm saying, like, the change has to be tested. Now that she realized, or he realizes that they have a temper issue, it's a temper problem. Now you prolong the dating phase for a little bit so that you can see how the change happened. Okay. How it happens and if it sticks, because trust me, and you guys know this is the facts. How many of us, me including myself, have made temporary changes in order for us not to lose a specific situation, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whatever it is? How many of us have changed temporarily so that we can either get what we want, right? And then once we get it, we change up. It happens a lot. People will change up. They will fake it until they get what they want. And then boom, their true colors show. And then boom, there's a divorce. But let's say they've been married for a while and there's some new behaviors manifesting in the relationship. And I'm not talking about manifesting like the universe is manifest. No. Like the actual definition of manifestation, right? Manifesting and showing itself now you change because you don't want to lose the marriage, right? If you have a flirtatious attitude, how about curbing that so that you don't lose your wife or lose your husband. That's a good change. Things like that. But to say, I have this bad temper and I can change for this person, right? That's a mistake. And the thing is, I'll tell you the truth. You ladies fall for this all the time. You fall for this all the time. You think that a man who has been a player all his life will change for you, will settle down for you. You guys think that. It doesn't always happen. It's not always the case. And men, I'm sorry, I'm calling it what it is. Like, it's the truth. So you ladies have fallen for this very same thing, believing that a man's going to change for you. No, they got to change first before you can even give them a shot. If you know them to be a player, you know them to be out there and play in the field, and you're willing to give him the attention while he's playing the field, why is he going to stop? There's no reason. There's no incentive. There's no incentive. You're just a woman in the rotation because he hasn't made the change. But let's say he makes the change. It could be temporarily until, in a lot of cases, he gets what he wants intimately from you, or until he gets married to you and then you get married to him. He didn't make the actual change. It was just temporary. And then he starts cheating on you in the marriage. You guys got to be careful of this. This is unpopular truths that people don't want to hear, but it's the truth. Jeannie wanted to make a change so that she didn't lose Jeezy. She didn't want to make the change because she realized there was a character flaw in herself. Now, here's the difference. If I am exhibiting behaviors that show a character flaw, if somebody tells me, if you don't change, I'm not going to be your friend, that's not intrinsically going to help me change. I'm doing it because I don't want to lose this friendship or this relationship. But if somebody says, you have this character flaw, right? And I'm like, you know what, Dag, you're right. I really need to fix this. Now it's intrinsic. Now it's not a matter of an external source telling me that I'm going to lose an external source if I don't change. I'm making the change for myself. And this is what people need to be looking for in their relationship. She said, if I don't change, I will lose this. And I don't want to lose this. Where's the intrinsic motivation inside of that? Because it's not intrinsic if she's willing to lose somebody. You know what? It's not good for me to be behaving like this. So I'm going to change. And the byproduct is I'm not going to lose my man. You know? So this is what it is. And people are very selfish when it comes to relationships this way. They want to make temporary changes that they really don't want to make because they don't want to lose something. And then we believe the hype. Let's continue.
But this was something greater that I wanted. And also a great challenge to myself to say, what if, now that I know it exists and the dragon's there, what if I got rid of that? How do I kill that dragon or store it in its place so that it never creates havoc in my life? And that took work. So for me, I think I don't want somebody who doesn't change. I want you to change and grow. If it means growing into an even better version of what I felt.
Every medieval fantasy, every fantasy that has to do with a dragon, right? They always, instead of killing the dragon, they always put it in some mystical dome or a mystical urn or whatever to keep the dragon there. And you know what happens? Somebody's going to open up the dragon and the dragon's going to come out and cause havoc. No, you kill the dragon, period. Point blank. That's it.
In love with.
Mm-hmm. There's also nothing wrong though too, because if you got a new job, you have to adapt to the job.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with asking your partner to change for you.
Yes.
Because you're in a relationship with me.
Especially if it's something we both mutually agree is not conducive to the relationship. Like if we know that you're jealous and your jealousy, yes, it has to do with your insecurity. I could also help with maybe communicating.
So let me clarify this. Jealousy doesn't always have to do with insecurity. Jealousy could be the very thing that helps a marriage. Let me explain. Yes, there are some insecurities that spark jealousy. But without jealousy, there's probably no safeguards in the marriage. Let me explain. Okay. She just gaslit for a hot second, saying that in a marriage, jealousy is like based on insecurity. It can be, but not all the time. in a marriage, jealousy could very well be about protecting the marriage. Let me explain. If I am, let's say if I am at church, okay, and there's a lady in the church who is becoming too friendly with me, and I'm thinking it's innocent because we're in the church with brother and sister in the Lord, and my wife sees it, and she says, Dre, uh, she doesn't look at you like she looks at every other man in the church. I think you need to be careful of her. Okay. That moment of jealousy helped me maintain my marriage, because now I'm looking at her and I'm going to be like, you know what? Let me watch her. Let me watch her. I'm not going to ream with my wife and say, "Oh, you being jealous, you're insecure. You need to relax with that." No, because if she's doing it correctly, she is looking to protect the marriage and telling me, Dre, watch out for her, because she's looking at you in a way that she's not looking at other brothers in the church. Look out for her. Now I'm able to put up that boundary and be like, you know what? Let me keep my distance. Okay. She's helping me protect my marriage. Jealousy can help protect the marriage. In this situation, she's calling jealousy out to be an insecurity. So this way she can do what she wants. She could be flirtatious. She can wear whatever she wants to wear, and her frontal orbs are out in display, and she can do all that because now if her husband says anything, she's already prefaced it. She already put it out there. Well, you're being jealous and you're being insecure. Like, it's gaslighting.
In a certain more thorough way so that you don't have reason to feel jealous. But then after I do my part, you got to do your part, and you got to get rid of that, because we all know jealousy doesn't help in a relationship, right? So I think there's things that both people have to commit to doing, but that is the turn on. That to me, like when you get turned on by somebody you just meet, it's going to be those first things you meet about them: their savviness, their wit, their clever, their humor, maybe their occupation, whatever you're going to get attracted to. Okay, once you've been together 5 years, 10 years, that's going to be the same shit. It gets boring. But if that person is continuously changing and molding themselves to become better, maybe they didn't read before and now they started to read. Maybe they never cared about their body.
I swear, I never heard her curse on the real. Man, why is she cursing like this, man? Guys, I am sorry.
Danger.
I didn't know she cursed like that. It was 2 times, but I just didn't know. I'm sorry.
All of a sudden they're doing workouts. Maybe they never were an extrovert, but now they're inviting some of your friends over and actually staying in the room to talk with your friends. Do you know how hot that is to see the person that you already fell in love with changing into these things that they just call upon themselves? And maybe because they heard Shan say, I'd really want you to hang out with my friends more, and they all of a sudden just took that upon themselves because they love you. That's awesome. Who's going to complain about that?
There's this theory, it's called the self-expansion theory. And it essentially says that humans are unique to other animals in that rather than just needing the basics of food, water, shelter, safety, belonging, we also need achievement. And that's what makes us different. So we are just.
And that's true, which is why people are exploiting their relationships and curating their relationships on social media, because they are searching for achievement. And a lot of the times, achievement looks like having a successful marriage for others to be envious of.
Just driven to find somewhere safe to sleep at night as we are to get up in the morning and strive for something.
Yes.
So when we're in a relationship, it's an opportunity for achievement because you can learn something else. You see the world broader. You have a new circle.
That.
So
when you're in a relationship, it's an opportunity for achievement.
Yes.
That is why I'm in my relationship. You just nailed it right there.
Yeah. She's in it because it makes her look good. It makes her feel like she accomplished something by being married. See? No. This is why in society today, the modern feminist movement shame people who or women who are searching to be wives, because they're not looking to be a wife per se. They're just looking to get married because it's something to check off in society. Oh, I got my college degree. Check. I graduated high school. Check. Got my college degree. Check. Got engaged. Check. Got a job. Check. Got a career. Check. Now it's time for me to get a husband. Check. We don't get married to check off boxes. Society tells you you need to be married at a specific age. No, I'm going to tell you, you need to get married when you feel like you're ready to be a wife or ready to be a husband. not because you feel like I'm old enough now, so we might as well get married. Shout out to Jagged Edge. Come on. No, that's why marriages end in divorce. She is proving why marriages end in divorce. She's checking off a box.
That thing called again?
Self-expansion theory.
I'm all about the SET. That is yes, that is me. Everybody always asks, why in this relationship has it changed you? Has it made you?
Again, intrinsic. Change that's intrinsic is based on your character. But change because somebody else helped you, like made you change because you're afraid to lose a relationship, is dependent on that relationship. Now, when you act out in that relationship and you show that you haven't changed, it's going to lead to divorce.
Softer and different in these different ways. And of course, he's a great man, but what is it beyond his looks or his accolades that make me so attracted to this relationship and working for it? Like actually working for it, like changing myself, growing, doing things. It's the ability to achieve. It makes me actually like myself more. You know what? I told him that the other day, Shan, and I was shocked the words came out of my mouth, but I just felt so comfortable. I was able to say it. I said, I like myself better with you.
Yes.
I like who I am better with you. I thought it was dope before. I thought it was pretty damn fly actually. But now it's not just about me. And you have ignited that. And by the way, I want to make sure this is clear too. That feeling inside of me is now unlocked and it isn't dependent on him being in my life. If he didn't work out and he ended up not being in my life, I will always remember this feeling I have and to apply that need for achievement in other great things that I find in my life, whether it's my career.
Now that can turn into intrinsic.
Which is why I think we love being career women. That always makes us want to achieve more. Being a mom, I guess, is another way. But I'm going to find that little spark in things that make me feel like I want to achieve more. So I like myself better through that activity or that new cause, that new reason. So for him, he's that in my life. But I don't want it to be just dependent on him.
Yes.
Now, dependency, I hear. Great close. I'm glad she closed with that because we should not be dependent on somebody else to help us bring change. We need to be changed. We need to change on our own. We need to make that change intrinsic. Okay, that means that we're going to be improving. Shout out to Honestly. You know she's going to say something. You know my sister's going to be giving me pushback. I don't know if she gaslit because I don't know her motives. And maybe most cases of jealousy are from insecurities. Because I said that some. I said some. I didn't say most. And I wouldn't say always most. If in a marriage, I can't say most. I can't say many, but I won't say most. Most cases of jealousy are from insecurities because of what people feel entitled to as a spouse or a partner. Yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't say most. Again, we look at jealousy as if it's a bad thing all the time. Jealousies can be based on insecurities, but jealousy can also be based on protection. Again, to automatically say that a man who is jealous is insecure, and painting that out there ahead of time, again, could be gaslighting, especially if when he does say something that's meant to protect the marriage, she's going to be like, or he's going to be like, you're being jealous. Nah, see, this is your insecurities. A lot of times it can help paint a picture before it even happens. And then when it happens, you're pulling it out. So we got to be careful of that. Basically, you said it's not about compromise, adjustment, sacrificing, and doing things just for love, but for self-improvement. In this case, it looks like now I did get that too. And I think again, when you get, and she even mentioned, and if this doesn't work out, right, I'm a better person. Like again, when you get married, it's not about necessarily achievement. When you get married, you're looking to be somebody's life partner and do life together with somebody. If a husband is getting married, he is ready to be a committed husband, a devoted father, a protector and provider for the family. To be willing to die for his family, right? And the wife is ready to be the husband's helpmate in this. At least if you're coming from a biblical perspective, the husband's helpmate and partner in life together, to build together. It's not about personal achievement. It's not about making yourself feel better. And all of this starts from the wedding, because ladies, you may not like this, but the fact that the wedding is all about the woman is extremely narcissistic. I didn't say you're a narcissist. All right. But that attitude that the marriage is about you and your happiness, this idea of happy wife, happy life, all that is narcissistic. I didn't say you were a narcissist. I'm just saying that's a trait. It's a tendency. Okay. All of it. So are you ready to be in a marriage, or do you just want to be a wife? Are you ready to be in a marriage, or do you just want a wife to cater to you? Do you feel like you being married is an achievement in your life? If you do, my recommendation to you is not to get married because you're not ready for it. You're not ready for it. You need to just take a couple of seats back and do some intrinsic searching of who you are to identify if you are ready to be in a marriage, or if you're ready to live together with somebody. I don't know who Jeannie Mai. I don't know Jeezy. I don't know this situation. Okay. I think what she was saying in this video, a lot of it was good. Some of it was questionable. And this is just me like giving my personal take. Like if I was to do like a case study on it, whatever, but just on this specific video, but I cannot draw solid conclusions based off of a 5-minute clip. So I'm not drawing conclusions. I'm speaking hypotheticals. I'm speaking, these could be possibilities. And I'm not saying it's their possibility. I'm just saying you guys need to look out for those possibilities. Okay. So before you guys go out there and start, throwing out rumor mills, that's not what I'm doing here. Okay. But I do want to share some scriptures, if you guys don't mind. Okay. About marriage. Let me start off with, hopefully this is the right one. Let me see. This isn't the right one. Here it is. No, I don't want to do this one first. Do I want to do this one first? I'll do this one first. I think this is the one I wanted to do first. Yeah, definitely. This is the one. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. 1 Corinthians 7-16, 1-16. This is going to be a lot of reading, but I want you guys to just bear with me. Now, and I'm reading from the ESV, as you can see. Now, concerning the matters about which you wrote, it is good for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman, but because of the temptation of sexual immorality, each man should have his own wife and each woman her own husband. The husband should give, now this is Paul speaking specifically, and I like how he framed this because he does go into who's like like if it's God or if it's him. Okay, so bear with me. The husband should give to his wife her conjugal rights, and likewise the wife to her husband. For the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. Likewise, this is for all of you women ready to say, see, the Bible's misogynist. Wait, misogynist? Watch. Likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. So it's mutual. What I love about the Bible, as much as you guys want to paint it to be misogynistic, it's extremely balanced when it comes to male-female relationships. In fact, it's a little bit more heavy on the men. Do not deprive one another, except perhaps by agreement for a limited time, that you may devote yourselves to prayer, but then come together again, so that Satan may not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Now, as a concession, not a command, I say this. He's saying, okay, this is him saying this. He's not saying that everybody should be. He's just saying this isn't a command. I wish that all were as I myself am, but each has his own gift from God, one of one kind and one of another. So he's single. He's saying he's single here, and I wish that you guys were all like me, abstaining and just staying single and being about the Lord's business. But then he goes on to say, to the unmarried and to the widows, I say that it is good for them to remain single as I am. But if they cannot exercise self-control, they should marry. For it is better to marry than to burn with passion. Okay. To the married, I give this charge. And then he says, not I. This is God here. This is God's command. The wife should not separate from her husband. But if she does, she should remain unmarried or else be reconciled to her husband. And the husband should not divorce his wife. Okay. This is not Paul's saying, this is not me. This is the Lord speaking here. And to the rest, I say, and then he goes on to say me. This is me talking, not the Lord, but me. That if any brother has a wife who is an unbeliever, and this is just wisdom, and she consents to live with him, he should not divorce her. If any woman has a husband who is an unbeliever, and he consents to live with her, she should not divorce him. For an unbelieving husband is made holy because of his wife, and the unbelieving wife is made holy because of her husband. Otherwise, your children will be unclean, but as it is, they are holy. If the unbelieving partner separates, so. In such cases, the brother or sister is not enslaved. God has called you to peace. If they want to leave, don't fight them on it. Let them go. God has called you to peace. For how do you know, wife, whether you will save your husband? Or how do you know, husband, whether you will save your wife? You're believing you are, but if your unbelieving spouse, if your spouse wants to leave, I'm not saying open up the door and throw out a red carpet, but don't try to stop them. You can pray for your marriage. You can fight on your knees for your marriage. But, Paul is saying, listen, let them go. God wants you to be at peace. So if they want to leave, let them leave. All right. But, Lord, as we see in verse 11 and 10, God's not about the just divorcing thing. He's not. He's not. And if we go into Hebrews 13, right? Another amazing scripture. Hebrews 13. Verse 1. Let brotherly love continue, and do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware. Remember those who are in prison, and though in prison with them, and those who are mistreated, since you are also in the body, which I love about the being a Christian. This puts things into context about how we should be behaving toward other people, even those that we may not have agreements with, like those who are in prison. But then he goes into saying this: let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. Keep your life, I love this verse, keep your life free from the love of money, and be content with what you have. For he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And people just use that one scripture. He will say, he'll never leave you nor forsake you. So we can confidently say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me? But verse 4 says, let marriage be held in honor among all. Okay. And I'm going to go to one more scripture, Malachi 2:13-16. And this second thing you do, you cover the Lord's altar with tears, with weeping, and with groaning, because he no longer regards your offerings or accept it with favor from your hand. But you say, why does he not? Like, why isn't God accepting my worship right now? Because the Lord was a witness between you and the wife of your youth, to whom you have been faithless, though she is your companion and your wife by covenant. So he's like, yo, I'm over at the altar. I got my tears. I'm crying here. I'm giving my all. Why aren't you hearing me? What's going on? And God is saying, because you were not faithful to the wife of your youth. You were not faithful. Pretty much, I see it all. God's like, I see it all. So you come in here with your crocodile tears and no. You're not being faithful to your wife. Did he not make them one with a portion of the Spirit in their union? And what was the one God seeking? Godly offspring. So guard yourselves in your spirit, and let none of you be faithless to the wife of your youth. For the man who does not love his wife, but divorces her, says the Lord, the God of Israel, covers his garments with violence, says the Lord of hosts. So guard yourselves in your spirit and do not be faithless. And he's also referring to the relationship between Israel and God. But the comparison is to a husband and his wife. We are not to be faithless with our wives, with our spouses. All right. You know what? And I'll go there. I'll go there, my brother. I'll go there. Thank you so much. I'll go there. 1 Peter 3. Right. It says verse 7. Likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the women as the weaker vessel, since they are heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered. I don't know the situation with Jeezy and Jeannie Mai. I do know that he, according to what's been put out there, filed for divorce. Okay. And I mentioned before that most men, when they are looking to file for divorce, it's because of clear evidence that there has been some infidelity on the wife's part. Otherwise, men will probably just stay committed in the marriage or committed to the title of being married. They can be separated, but and never get a divorce unless somebody else comes in the picture and they want to get remarried and they have to get a divorce. But I don't delight in divorce. I don't delight in the fact that Jeannie Mai and Jeezy are getting divorced. I actually, when I told my wife, like we were just like shocked because they seem like, you know, a good couple. But all of that is curated for social media. They are a couple in entertainment. And the problem is that we get a lot of our relationship cues, our marriage cues, what we want our marriages to look like from our favorite celebrities. Instead of looking to the Bible and saying, you know what, I want my marriage to look like how God describes it in the Word of God. So, but I pray that I pray for their marriage. I don't want to see them get a divorce. I don't. I would hope that they work it out. So at least until I hear otherwise, my prayer, and I'm going to be praying for them, is that they can reconcile this marriage. This will be Jeezy's first divorce and Jeannie Mai's second divorce. And divorce is never easy. Nobody really comes out on top, and they have a child together. This is going to affect the child too. So I'm praying for their marriage. I'm praying that they can work things out. And again, here's the thing. You guys can call me a simp about this all you want, but there's nothing that can't be worked out. Nothing. Okay? If you guys really wanted to. The marriages that work and last the test of time are marriages with two people committed to making the marriage work. That means no matter what happens in the marriage or what happens externally that could affect the marriage, they're choosing to work it out together, to forgive, to love unconditionally, to make changes so that mistakes doesn't happen residually. This is what it's about. This is what it's about. So I don't know what's going to happen with their marriage, but I will be praying for them. And if you are prayer, if you believe in Jesus and the power of prayer, I would hope that you're praying for them as well. Thank you, G. France. I appreciate it. I would hope that you're praying for them as well, even if there was infidelity. And you know what? I'll even put this out there. You probably won't watch this, Jeezy or Jeannie Mai, but if you are looking for somebody to talk to help process what's happening in your marriage, and you really want to just see if you can work this thing out before signing those final divorce papers, hit me up. Hit me up. Okay. My information's, on my channel. Hit me up. And I would, love to help you guys out. Really would. And this goes for anybody else out there who is having issues in their marriage. If you want somebody to, just come alongside you and help in a non-therapy type of way, but in a counseling and coaching type of way, may need a marriage tune-up. You may have had something happen recently in your family that you just need to process through with somebody. You may need there's some things in your marriage that you just like, you know what, I can't deal with this, or there's some things that I need to change within me. I could be there for you. Just hit me up. Go to coachingbydre.com and yeah. hit me up. But I hope that they reconcile. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I see you all in the chat. Sorry I didn't get a chance to engage with a lot of the comments, but you guys are blowing up the comment section. So I really appreciate your support and your engagement. If you have made it this far in the video and have not hit the like button, please do me a favor and smash the like button. It lets YouTube know that this is a video worth sharing. It helps the channel greatly, even though you may not realize it. And YouTube will put it out there in this thumbnail for others to see, and hopefully they'll watch it. They'll click it and watch it. And yeah, if you would like to subscribe to the channel, you can join the Harrison Extended family through subscription. So hit that subscribe button and the bell notification next to it. It'll let you know when I upload a new video and when I'm going live, like I'm doing right now. And if you would like to support the channel, there's a couple of ways to do so. If you hit that super chat button and give us a super chat during the live stream, you will be officially the show's sponsor. So for those who do give super chats, they can sponsor the show. Or if you give a super thanks after it goes live, you'll be the sponsor of the episode as well. You can also support monthly by going to the membership button down below somewhere over here, or going to patreon.com/Harrison Family Values and making a small monthly donation that will help this channel keep moving forward. But what if you don't like to just give free money? Like, you know, I'm not paying monthly for membership, and I'm not going to go on your Patreon and pay you money for free. What am I getting in return? Well, other than the perks that I will be giving you through the memberships, you can also purchase merch. Yes, shirts, coffee mugs, hoodies. I also have what's on my finger? I also have, I think, leggings for my sisters out there. Glasses, stuff like I got a few things on there, and you can purchase something. You get something quality in return, and help support the channel that way as well. All right. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, pray for Jeezy and Jeannie Mai. I pray that they find Jesus and really able to reconcile, because the Bible says that a 3-cord strand is not easily broken. When you got Jesus in the mix, you got the Holy Spirit and God working with you in your marriage, you guys can withstand almost every test that comes your way, because the devil really wants to break up marriages, and he has done a great job at making people believe that marriages is just an expendable piece of paper that they can just tear up and throw out. So with that being said, I love you all, and until the next upload or live stream, I'm out. Peace.